What, the controller?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Okay, we should be live. Watch now. Okay, let's just give it a second. Hello, people. Okay, let me turn this towards you. And then we can just get started. Actually, just wait a second.
Okay.
Anytime. I just want to wait just a moment.
Yeah, no worries. Hello, good people of the internet.
Hello, people. All right, we're good to go. Let's get started, shall we?
Sure.
Got 3 right off the bat. That's what I like to see.
That's cool.
Welcome on in, everybody.
Wait,
Okay.
Can they hear both of us?
They should be able to hear both of us. Let me just put the volume up for a second. Can you guys hear us? Luca, go for it.
Hello?
Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. We're good. We can actually do this. Okay, we're good. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back. It's been a while to the 501st podcast. We're very happy to be back. We've got some new information we wanted to talk about. Some Star Wars news that's going on, and I guess you'd say kind of like, I hate this thing. It sounds super cringy, and I guess anyway. It's kind of like the Star Wars community. Star Wars Visions dropped. We're going to be talking about that a little bit. But I think first things first, a little bit of a catch-up, I think, is probably due. So I am once again joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself. We're joined by Luca again today. Luca, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing good, thanks. Just living life. Star Wars has an anime now, so... Yeah.
This is where we're at now. This is where we're at. Star Wars has an anime. But yes.
My thoughts on that later.
Thoughts on that later. So... I think we can probably just jump right into this. Let me pull this around and go right into this. So, we've got some news in the Star Wars media. Got a couple of things lined up, but why don't we start with... Luca actually wanted to talk about this first, so I'm going to let him take it away. Luca, go for it.
Okay, yeah. So this is just a segment that we wanted to try out just for Star Wars news. Just kind of like what's going on in like the Star Wars happenings, you know? Yeah, and we'll just talk about it. So I just got a few things up here that maybe you guys have or haven't heard of, and we just kind of talk about it. The first one is that there has been this sort of pervasive rumor that Disney has renamed Boba Fett's ship from the Slave One to Firespray. Apparently what happened is there was this like closed doors press release that was being held, and there's this series, like this comic book series. It's called War of the Bounty Hunters. It's going down, and there was this closed like press release happening where they released some of the covers for the issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the format of the cover is like it's like your typical like comic book cover. They had like the bounty hunter, and then they had the ship name, and then they said like the bounty hunter's name and the ship's name and blah blah blah, a bunch of like tech specs or whatever. And so apparently during that press release they showed Boba Fett, and for the ship name it said Firespray, where the ship name should be, right? So that was sort of the, I guess, like, no, yeah, that was sort of like the narrative, I guess, that these like news corporations just took with and sort of like ran with it. And there's like a bunch of like IGN and Kotaku articles about like, oh, Boba Fett's ship name is renamed to Firespray. It's official, guys. Blah blah blah. So yeah, that's not true. First of all, they released the variant covers, and it doesn't say Firespray anywhere on it. They also misspelt the name of one of the other bounty hunters. So like it's not like they actually did like any fact checking anyways.
Right.
Yeah. So while they may or may not have changed the ship name, I think as of now it's still unconfirmed. But I guess we'll just have to see. I just wanted to clear that up because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, they definitely changed the name for sure. Like that's not true yet.
Yeah, there was a lot of information going around. I think even myself, I was like, I don't know if this is true, but like if it is, that shit's so stupid. But Luca reached out to me and was kind of like, "Hey, I wanted to talk about this on stream on the podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, let's line this up. Let's get this going." But yeah, so the fire spit thing isn't actually like confirmed in any like official capacity.
Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet.
So if
Okay.
if you guys are interested, there's this YouTuber. His name is Eckhart's Lauder. He does a bunch of like Star Wars stuff. He did a video on it that I thought was really good. It's sort of like investigative journalism. If you're interested, you could check it out. But basically, as of yet, nothing has been confirmed. But I did want to bring up another sort of thing that seems to be like sort of a trend, I guess you could say, when it comes to the naming of Boba Fett's ship.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you guys like Lego, like I do, big fan.
And by like, Luca means obsessed.
Well, sort of, but so Lego releases like a bunch of like ships and stuff for different characters, and they've released the Slave One a bunch of times. And recently they re-released the Slave One again. I think it was this year 2020 to coincide with the appearance of the Slave One in season 2 of Mandalorian. And normally before, when they released the Slave One, they'd call it Slave One on the box art, right? This time the set was called Boba Fett's Starship, right? So when this came out, there were like a lot of warning bells going on, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, they changed the name, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And then you had a lot of I don't want to paint anybody. You had a lot of people who disagreed with that assertion, and they said, "Oh no, it's just a toy thing, because Lego wants to sell to a bunch of people." And they're like, "Oh yeah, if you're a parent, you're not going to know what the Slave One is called, but you're going to know who Boba Fett is." So you go into the store, you're like,
well, yeah, there was a lot of arguments like, "Oh, this is like a marketing thing." So
exactly.
like plus the fact that and Luca might be a little bit I don't want to say unwilling because that's not fair to you, but I'll definitely say this. Given the, shall we say, social climate, I can understand why a company as large as Disney, who has mainly tried to keep its like PG status, wouldn't necessarily want one of its things called Slave One on its things. Whether or not that's the actual thoughts that like ran through their head, we don't know. We're not going to try to mind read.
Yeah.
But like from a marketing perspective, that seems pretty fair. I personally disagree with the rename. I think that like if that's the name, you keep it, regardless if it may like allude to some pretty like horrific shit that has gone down. But like, hey, like it is what it is. Sorry, keep going, Luke. I don't want to cut you off.
There is one other video that I was very interested in that I saw. It was a little while back. Someone posted on Reddit, and I watched it. And I will send it to Austin.
Yes, Reddit.
Yeah, I'll send it to Austin if I can find it, and then maybe you can put it in the Discord if you
want.
I'll
toss it to the Discord.
The video is. Basically, every year they have these like toy conventions where they show off like all the new toys.
Oh yeah, like Hasbro.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, this is the new Nerf blaster. This is the new Furby. Blah blah blah. And they had this toy convention in 2020, and there was this company that was selling these like ship model kits, basically like model kits that you build and paint, whatever, as like their Star Wars ships. And this guy was like interviewing. He was interviewing the presenter who's representing the company, and he's going through the whole range of the model kits. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, there's this ship and that ship," and the presenter goes to the Slave One, which they have a model kit of, and he says something along the lines of, "Yeah, it's called Boba Fett's Starship now. We had to change the name because Disney said so." So that for me,
which kind of alludes to the whole we wanted like keep like PG PC kind of thing.
Yeah, so that to me was kind of the smoking gun, because I don't know if we can take the presenter at his word for that, but if we can, that's
a pretty damning statement.
Exactly right. That seems to me like pretty big evidence that no, this is not just a Lego company decision. No, this is not just a one-off thing for marketing. It seems to me that Disney, at least when it comes to physical products, is trying to disassociate itself from the Slave One name. So again, I don't want to say anything concrete. I'll try to find that video again, and if I can, I'll send it to Austin.
Just send it to me, and then I'll post it in Discord.
But I think that's very interesting. As far as my thoughts on whether or not they should rename it, I don't think they should. Like,
just keep it. Like, I understand that like the name like Slave One is pretty like erroneous in terms of like historical precedents and things like that. But like, if we're just talking about the character of Boba Fett, like, I think we can probably get away with that. Like, it should be like. We're fine with that, realistically.
I just don't like the general precedent in sets where you can't necessarily have not even like historical context, but like just these like ideas that maybe might not be okay from like a marketing perspective.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Star Wars, it's very allegorical to a lot of things that happen throughout history, right? One big comparison that even George himself makes is that Palpatine is sort of this amalgamation of like Nazi Germany and as well as Richard Nixon and sort of George Lucas's feelings for that. So there's definitely a lot when it comes to the political climate of Star Wars, and I feel like I don't want to say it's disingenuous, but like I don't see the reason why these things should be censored, right? Boba Fett is a bad guy. We all know he's a bad guy. He's clearly shown to be a bad guy.
Although Mandalorian season 2 is kind of muddling the mudding the waters a little bit,
and that's a very interesting discussion. You know, it's like, are we trying to change Boba Fett's image because they want to make him more marketable, because they've invested in Book of Boba Fett and now they want to make him kind of like this good guy, you know,
or even like an anti-hero.
Sure, right.
Kind of like what they do with like Venom and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
and if he is an anti-hero, I say, you know, keep the Slave One name. Yeah, keep that, right? Because he's an anti-hero. He's not supposed to be someone that we, you know, empathize with through and through. He's not supposed to be this shining example of
He's
goodness,
not supposed
right?
to be like Luke or whatever.
You know, it's easy. It's not really easy, but I think they kind of forget that this guy is like a bounty hunter, right? He essentially hunts people for a living, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's literally human trafficking 101.
Yeah, like, I don't know if that's exactly the most ethical, you know, position.
Profession.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly why the ship's called the Slave One, but I've seen a lot of parallels drawn between him being a clone and that's sort of like slavery in a sense.
He's being enslaved by like whether it was a Republic
or
the
like, Kaminoans or whatever, exactly. Right? He was created for a singular purpose, sort of. So I just think like to change the name, it's like. You know why? Like, Boba Fett is this bad guy. If you're trying to make him a good guy, make him a good guy. But like, yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, just keep the name. Like, are they going to start renaming the Death Star because it has the word death in it? You know?
Well, that's
like,
the other thing.
Like I kinda, Star Destroyer.
Yeah, that's the other thing I kind of wanted to piggyback off what Luca was saying. So, just for context, me and Luca, as a principle, are pretty anti-censorship, even if it's done like self-censorship wise.
Right.
The idea that we can simply just get rid of any, whether it's just a symbol or whether it's an actual word like Slave One, because it has some a reference to terrible and deeply unethical and immoral things that happened in the past. It's probably not, as Lucas said, a good precedent for us to be setting, where basically we just essentially cleanse anything from society, whether that's in the media or whatever it is, because it may have some connection to some awful thing that was done so in the past. This is generally not a road we want to start going down. It's, again, whether that's in media or whether that's what's even taught in schools, sometimes we would get like a watered down version of actual events that have happened, because, you know, we have to keep up this idea that like, hey, like things were good or things were less bad than they actually were, or things like that. Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to add that a little bit.
No. I entirely disagree. And, you know, in the world of Star Wars itself...
Hold on, disagree or agree?
No, I agree.
Okay, because I heard disagree and I'm like, hold on.
Sorry, I apologize if I missed
No, you're good, you're good.
I entirely agree. Like...
So I was like, hold on, I know Luke's position on this, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's in agreement with that.
You know, I don't think they should be sort of like mitigating these things, because, you know, these are supposed to be like the bad guys, right? And the things they do are supposed to be... bad
that's
things,
the whole
right?
point. Yeah.
You know, you watch Phantom Menace and you see that Anakin is a slave, right? Quite literally, and Qui-Gon buys his freedom, right? And you can see the sort of happiness that gives Anakin, but it also gives him a little bit of like poignant sadness, because he has to leave his mother, right? And Anakin's mother being a slave and continuing to be a slave throughout Anakin's you know, Jedi training,
right?
And then afterwards she's given to Klieg Lars, and then, you know, we all know what happens to her after that. She gets kidnapped by the Tusken Raiders. That's a very sort of important point of Anakin's sort of character development, right? It's the fact, like, yeah, I wasn't strong enough to save my mother. That's why I have to be better for Padme, right? So I think to... like, yeah, there's a lot of bad things that happen. Tatooine is this lawless planet that is not within the jurisdiction of the Republic, and, you know, there's they talk about it a lot.
And even outside the jurisdiction of the Empire.
Yeah, exactly, right? And they talk about it a lot, how, like, yeah, this republic sort of seems like this good thing, but, you know, it's bloated, it's bureaucratic, it doesn't have the strangle on stuff like that, things like slavery that are happening in the Outer Rim. So, you know, I think, like, there are examples of these things that happen in the movies itself that serve to kind of give our characters reason for why they're doing things, you know, and I don't think that we should just start renaming stuff as it is, you know, like we all know that Jabba the Hutt or Boba Fett or Emperor Palpatine, they're all bad guys, right? So, like,
and it's not, and in my opinion, it's not simply good enough to say these are your bad guys and these are your good guys. You have to present a well-rounded reason for why these people do bad things, regardless of them just giving the excuse of, well, because they're bad guys.
Yeah.
For example, Palpatine does the evil things he does because he wants total power. That is his point in existing. Anakin, although, you know, depending on what you're talking about, Vader does evil things. For one, in Revenge of the Sith, because he wants to save his wife.
Yeah.
An example of good intentions leading to terrible outcomes. Whereas Vader does evil things because of the fact he has nothing left to live for. And so he might as well surrender himself to the pain, the hate, and the anger. Boba Fett does unethical things because he's just I believe the exact
money.
quote, I think the exact quote is, what was it? I'm just a simple man making my way through the galaxy, whatever it is. So he doesn't even think that what he's doing is immoral. He just goes, look, I'm just trying to survive. Get off my back, all right? Leave me be, right? And the reason why bad people do bad things is just as important as ensuring that we have concrete good and evil in our storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I you know, I didn't expect this to go into, like, a whole philosophical debate.
Sorry, yeah,
No, but I don't fault you whatsoever, because you're absolutely right. You know, like, yeah, there has to be precedent and reason for why these things are happening.
Mm-hmm. And if you're going to rename something, you better damn well have a good excuse for having to rename something.
Yeah. So whether or not they rename Slave One in the Book of Boba Fett remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and if they do, believe me, we'll be commenting on it because we will be reviewing it.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that would be like you know, a bad thing. We'll just have to see, because the Book of Boba Fett isn't out yet. Renaming, like, merchandise that is currently out as just Boba Fett Starship sort of has that, like, okay, you know, like, I can see why. I don't know. Maybe we're looking too hard into this. Maybe it doesn't really matter at all. Let us know. But
yeah, we'll definitely be, as Book of Boba Fett does come out, we will be probably bringing this topic back up again as the TV show kind of goes through. Plus, we don't even know if he's going to have much of a role to play in Mandalorian Season 3. We have no idea right now.
Yeah.
And if new information drops, believe me, we will make sure to, I don't want to say report, but we'll be bringing that to you guys to talk about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing. If in the Book of Boba Fett, they water down Boba Fett to be some kind of, like, goody two shoes, like, whatever,
I will smack a bitch.
Yeah,
like I don't care.
No, this guy, I want him to replace Jabba the Hutt. I want him to be like the
next big
seedy criminal gangster kind of guy. You know, like, we can have these sort of stories. We can have these cool, badass, you know, criminal elements. You know, it's not such a taboo thing. So I guess anything else?
I think I'm good on the Boba Fett. I'm good on the Boba Fett. Slave One fire spray conundrum that you found yourself in. I've said my piece on that. If you want to add anything else on that,
I think I'm good too.
Okay, so now we've done that. Next topic we want to talk about is the Kenobi show. Now, Luca, would you like to give your opinion on the Kenobi show to start us off?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to, like, obviously...
Sorry, I know I'm throwing you under the bus a little bit, but it's fun.
No, obviously, like, it's not out yet, so I don't want to give any sort of criticisms or opinions until I actually see it. But as a rule of thumb, I disagree with the necessity of there being an Obi-Wan show.
That's more what I meant, not the actual, what do you think of the show? Because, of course, you don't know anything.
I totally understand. It's just, I don't think we need an Obi-Wan show. I think, as much as I love Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, like, I would have killed if we just took the Kenobi show and moved it back, like, 10 years, you know? Like, give us a Clone Wars live action show. I feel like that has much more room for expansion than a Kenobi show. Because I feel like whatever they do in a Kenobi show, they're gonna, what's the word I'm looking for? They're gonna devalue Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like I want Obi-Wan to be this sort of person whose whole life has sort of collapsed around him. And the last sort of string of hope that he's holding on to is Luke. He's, as we say, a new hope, right? This is a man who's the Jedi Order's gone, right? His best friend, his brother, you could say, has turned to the dark side, and he's had for all he knows, kill him, essentially. The galaxy has come under the control of the Empire. It's not the Republic anymore, right? He's on the run hiding because the Jedi are being targeted. So, like, this is a guy who like, his whole worldview has been redefined. And I like what happens in the story now, where he settles down in Tatooine, he watches over Luke, and he spends most of his time meditating, whether it be with Qui-Gon, with Yoda, or you know, just meditating by himself and writing down these sort of things that that he thinks of, right?
Yeah.
I don't want the Kenobi show to be this, you know, galaxy crossing adventure where he sees Vader and he decapitates 3 stormtroopers, and then there's a bunch of Inquisitors that show up, and whatever, he's going planet to planet. Like, no, it doesn't fit, in my opinion. It doesn't fit thematically for the character of Obi-Wan, right? And like, and anything you do on Tatooine, whether it is you send Inquisitors, whether you send Vader, whether you even send a large stormtrooper presence, there's always going to be that question of, why was this not noticed, you know? If you send an Inquisitor and they don't come back, what do you think happened?
Vader's
right?
gonna have some questions.
Yeah, like, there are not a lot of people in the galaxy who can deal with an Inquisitor, right? It's usually,
literally no one but a Jedi.
Right.
Literally no one.
I would only think a Jedi, another Force user, or like maybe some very powerful group. Like, I don't know, maybe like
some gang affiliation on Tatooine?
Yeah. Like, I don't know, Jabba the Hutt and his gangsters, maybe like with overwhelming force, or like the Pikes, as we've seen in the Clone Wars, something like that. But not a lot of people could deal with an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, there's always going to be the questions of, like, why didn't this happen, right? And if we have Obi-Wan not be on Tatooine and be somewhere else, then the question is, like, okay, but why isn't he on Tatooine watching over Luke, right? Because we explicitly see at the end of Revenge of the Sith that he gives Luke to Owen and Beru, right? And then he's right sort of beside them as they're sort of staring into the sunset, right? Like, he's not going to give them Luke.
Look, here, like, take the kid.
Yeah, he's not going to give them Luke and be like, hey, yo, I got a dip for 1 season and I'll be right back, you know? It's just like, watch over him for now, because, like, oh, he's a baby, nothing will happen to him, right?
Right.
And then I'll be back during his teenage years where he's really going to get into some trouble, right? Like,
yeah.
No.
Well, the other thing is, and I know that I've mentioned this to you, Luca, but, like, the other thing is, for me, given the whole, like, if Vader, and I don't even buy it, even if the Inquisitors touch down, I'm sorry, there is no reason why Inquisitors or Vader does not feel even if they don't recognize it as Luke, as a baby, but the fact that they don't recognize that there's an extremely strong Force presence. I mean, you literally have 2 strong Force users living, less than a mile from each other, and no Force users recognizes that? If they step down on Tatooine, whether that's Inquisitors or Vader.
Right.
Now, I truly think they would make the mistake of having Vader show up on Tatooine. They must not put him on Tatooine. They absolutely must not do it in any capacity. Because that's a whole issue by itself. I know for a fact, and I'm like 99.9% sure, we have gotten confirmation that there is going to be an Inquisitor.
Okay.
Again, like, I could be wrong, but, like, I'm, like, almost certain that that's the case, that we're getting an Inquisitor. There's some rando guy on Tatooine who's going to end up wielding a lightsaber for some particular reason.
Okay.
I'll pull up the links and put them in chat. But, like, it's a whole thing. But, like, yeah, I'm with, again, what a shock. I'm with Luke on this one. We tend to agree,
right,
on this kind of stuff.
I think I'm just much more sort of
You're super invested because like Obi-Wan's your favorite character.
On this topic
you're
specifically, I'm much more more anti this show happening. Whereas I feel like you're much more of like
I'm not anti this show happening. I just, from what I have heard so far on what's going to go down, it doesn't seem to be the way in which I think Obi-Wan's story should, I guess, conclude. Because, like, after this, there isn't really much to talk about for Obi-Wan.
Except, like...
Other than, like, him before he becomes a Padawan. Like, literally, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, if they want to make a Kenobi show, and have it be, like, 3 or 4 episodes, and it's just, like, an episode with Yoda, an episode with Qui-Gon, an episode with, I don't know, something else going down, that's fine, but, like, I don't want that...
You forgot something.
But yeah, don't mind that. But yeah, what was talking? Oh yeah. If they want to have him just like talking with Qui-Gon, talking with Yoda for like 2 or 3 episodes, that's fine. But like, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Luca.
No, I absolutely agree. I just think that any potential benefit that you could get from this show is overshadowed by the possibility that they're gonna mess something up or just.
Yeah.
In my opinion, mess something up. I don't know, just not do. But I agree. I do think it'd be cool if it's just like flashbacks, or if they just show like him training with Yoda or Qui-Gon.
Hey, if we get Clone Wars flashbacks and Hayden's in them,
well, that begs the question: why not just make a Clone Wars show then? You know?
Because I think the problem is that the Clone Wars kind of show has kind of been super oversaturated at this point. We have the Bad Bad, which is essentially Rebels 2.0 and Clone Wars 2.0. We have Clone Wars season 7. We have all 6 seasons of like Clone Wars. We're getting to the Ahsoka show. Like, I feel like it's going to be like almost super. Super. What was it? Super oversaturated. That's the word I'm trying to use.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
All we can do at this point is kind of wait and see what happens.
I'm dreading the day it comes out.
But a day that we will be watching it.
But yeah. So yeah. Apparently, this is just really short. But yeah. Apparently, they have some sets in Southern California and in England as well.
Ooh.
And you can click on the links if you want to look at the pictures.
Oh, true, yeah.
It looks like a town sort of thing.
Okay.
I don't know if it looks like Tatooine exactly.
Right.
But like it's sandy, I guess. So
it's sandy. We're good.
Yeah. And apparently it's been confirmed now that they're done filming.
Yes, it's in post-production now from what I understand.
So I don't know, like we've got.
Isn't it coming out like late next year, whatever it is?
I have no idea.
Or I don't know.
Late next year.
COVID has pushed everything back. I know that we're not getting Mandalorian season 3 till I'm pretty sure like next year, like this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like September of like next year. So we have that to wait for. We know the Book of Boba Fett's coming out. I'm pretty sure early next year.
Well, I'd imagine that Book of Boba Fett probably comes out before Kenobi.
Yeah.
And Kenobi.
So we're gonna get like what? Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, Mandalorian, and then I guess Ahsoka the following year.
I have no idea. Because I feel like they're developing them all at the same time, so they might release them closer.
Although, have they even started filming for Ahsoka yet, or?
I have no idea.
So.
I don't know. Maybe
it's a possibility.
Yeah, or they're still doing like the ideas and like script writing or whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
Gotta make sure Rosario Dawson's gotta have something to do, right? But yeah, did you want to say anything like final on that topic?
No. That's it. I don't think the show should happen. But no one cares what I think. So.
Wow. and thus the pessimist arrives.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. We can move on to the next topic, and that's fine.
Yeah, and then you can talk about the one.
Okay, so
I can. Do you want me to
actually? You go for it. You go for it. I want the next one. I want the next one.
This is just super quick. If you guys do have Disney Plus, there's a new Lego like short movie coming out. It's called Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales. It's like a Halloween special, but it comes out on October 1st. So not really Halloween.
Like a week from now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess it's kind of a primer to Halloween.
Are we gonna be watching that? Are we watching that?
Yeah, we can totally watch it.
Okay,
it's probably gonna be like half an hour.
Yeah, it's fine. We can watch that.
Yeah. Of note, I wanted to mention is in the show or in the trailer, they show a minifigure of Ren, Now, Ren is the guy that the Knights of Ren are based off, or like named after, and he's a guy that showed up in the
comics.
Yeah, the Rise of Kylo Ren comics and stuff.
Yeah. Which kind of throw a wrench in the whole Kylo Ren story, but
yeah, you know. So yeah, they've never made a minifigure of him. He shows up in the show, so I don't know what that means. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
The show's non-canon anyways. It's just like a funny like spoof thing. But yeah, I just thought
it's like the holiday special all over again.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But that's really it. I guess you can watch it.
I don't know. I feel like it'll be kind of like just funny to watch. Actually, didn't they have the whole? Wasn't there? I don't know if this was for the what's it called? Terrifying Tales thing. But wasn't there some video that came out where it was like Kylo Ren and Vader against like Luke and Rey or whatever it was? Was that for the Skywalker Saga? Was that promo for that, or
was there? I don't know. Maybe I know they had the Lego Star Wars Christmas one.
I think that might have been it.
That might have been it because if you guys have seen it, basically what happens is Rey gets a holocron that lets her travel through.
Yeah, no,
through
that is
time.
it. That is it. Yeah, okay, that was for the Christmas.
Yeah, and she goes through a bunch of time periods in the Star Wars universe and brings a bunch of characters into her current time.
Right.
If you guys have seen that meme where there's 3 Obi-Wans and they all say hello there at the same
time,
that's from that Christmas special. It's funny. It's like it's inconsequential, but it's good. So if you guys are interested, you can watch that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. And then if you want to take over the next
one. Okay, I'll take the next one, because this is one that I have been super, super hyped for. We are getting, for those of you who are and I know that I'm not going to actually bring up age here, because Twitch doesn't like it when you do that, but we are getting a Knights of the Old Republic remake, and my god, how happy I am. I wasn't necessarily into the Star Wars PC games when this game first came out. However, Luca did find a way for me to end up playing it, and I did end up playing it, and it was fantastic, and now I'm hyped because they're bringing it back. It's not going to be my EA, though, which is, good because we don't like loot boxes. It's being brought up by a company called Asper, I think. Aspire?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to be perspiring, let me tell you. So, yeah, we're getting a new company making a remake of the...
Well, they're not really new.
Well, I mean new
later.
In terms of, like, the people making Star Wars video games, because usually it's been EA, right? The Battlefront games have all been EA, so we're getting someone, like, new blood into Star Wars video game, which is kind of nice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm super happy about that. They did actually drop a teaser trailer for this game, where it's literally just Revan in all of his beautiful, beautiful glory comes back. I will actually see if I can put that trailer in the chat really quickly. Luca, do you want to talk while I'm doing that, or?
Sure. Yeah. It's literally the biggest teaser ever. It's like non-substantial at all.
A great trailer.
Yeah. Anyways, so some background on Aspire, I don't know. I'll just call him Aspire. Aspire, because that sounds cool. Yeah, so Aspire as a company has mostly been a publisher of games and a publisher of indie games, and it seems like they're sort of branching out. When it comes to Star Wars games, you're right that this is the first one they're actually going to be developing. Mm-hmm. But they have been in charge of re-releasing a few Star Wars games on modern consoles. Mm-hmm. Now, this is where we have to draw the distinction between re-release and remake. The way Aspire has been re-releasing them before has literally just been, hey, this is the exact same game. We just updated it, quote-unquote updated, to work on PS4, right? And
I think it's, although I'm pretty sure, isn't it PS5 exclusive? I don't think they're making it for PS4.
Well, the Revan, the KOTOR game is, but okay. Like other games like Jedi Knight 2 and Republic Commando, Star Wars Racer, and Star Wars Bounty Hunter, mm-hmm. which are all games that are like N64, PS2 games.
Oh, yeah, they re-released
those. Yeah, those ones get re-released on PS4. I still have to buy a bunch of those ones. It says right here, I'll talk about it later. I just started something funny.
Which Lucas still needs to get a copy of.
Yeah. I love Star Wars Bounty Hunter for the GameCube. I have a copy on my GameCube. I kind of just want to get a copy on the PlayStation 4, but they did this really stupid thing where there was like a limited release or something, and they're like, oh, okay, we're only doing this many, and I hate it so much because everybody bought them up and they're scalped for crazy prices on eBay.
Wow, what a shock.
Yeah, I know, I hate it so much. And the game is really fun, but the save system in the game sucks. It absolutely sucks, and I think it ruins the game, sort of. But it's still a fun game, and you guys should test it out. Definitely, if you guys have a PlayStation 4, get the Republic Commando re-release on PS4.
It's only like $12, $15, I think it is.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
It is.
In Canadian.
And actually had people begging me to play, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it's really good. It's fun. If you guys like FPSs, it's really fun. The re-release, I don't own it yet, but as far as I know, it's pretty faithful. It's just a controller upgrade, if anything. So yeah, check that out. Check Star Wars Racer out too. It's really fun too. But yeah, so Aspyr used to just re-release stuff. Now they're actually doing a remake, which means they're rebuilding the game from scratch.
Yep.
With inspiration being the old Knights of the Republic game. Now, how much is going to be inspiration? How much is going to be lifted directly from the game? Obviously, we don't know
because we're still waiting for more details.
Yeah. But I want to get your thoughts on just the whole thing in general.
Okay, so as a general rule, I don't like it when Disney starts meddling around with things that are fan favorites. We saw their... you guys can't see what I'm doing bunny ears right now. Interpretation of Luke Skywalker, God help us all. We are seeing them kind of, to bring up the talk we just had, potentially bastardizing the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it makes me a little bit nervous. However, I'm not going to lie. I am a sucker for nostalgia. So you bring me Revan, you bring me Malik, you bring me Bastila Shan, you bring me all of that goodness from the Old Republic, and I am a happy, nostalgic boy. No matter what happens, unfortunately, because I'm a little bit, I will say this is one of my weak spots, is I will probably end up getting it no matter what happens, and then bitching and moaning about it after I play it, because this is generally the way that I work. By the way, when that game does drop, we are getting it and we are streaming it, just so you guys know. So I will probably end up having to get a PS5, but
jeez,
so be it.
I didn't even think of that.
I am willing to do, or you know what? Hey, if I can play it on PC, I'll play it on PC. Because by that point, I'm hoping I'll actually have like a fully like operating like PC battle station.
Battle station.
Fully operational battle station.
Someone's been reading the marketing a little too much.
I can't help it.
Not a PC.
Bring me Starforge, all right?
You know?
But yeah, I'm super hyped about it. After reading the Darth Bane novels, and I read the, I know technically they're not canon, the Revan book.
Well, neither is Darth Bane.
Well, I know, but but still, all of that got me super hyped and super into the. I was into the older public stuff before I read those books, but after I read them again, after I read them, it got me even more like, oh my god, I need to consume like everything Old Republic now, immediately. Inject it. Give me 40 cc's of Republic into my veins immediately. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. Yeah, there has. Can I permission to rant for a moment?
Yeah, you can rant.
Okay, so there has been a rumor going around that the writer for this...
It's not a rumor, it's confirmed.
Well, the rumor comes afterward.
Oh, okay.
There is a writer that is going to be responsible for, obviously, writing the Knights of the Old Republic remake. However, there are rumors that, shall we say, this writer has particular tendencies in the way in which they write their characters to be more... how do I put this? We were just talking about self-censorship, so I'm not going to do it. A little bit more of the... I don't even know where I'm going with this. But yeah, a little bit more crazy than what we're used to. People have kind of looked at the writer's body of work from other things, and it has been really... ill-received. People have not been happy with the way that this person has written other remakes or other games, and they haven't been happy about it, and I'm just kind of nervous that we are going to see the same kind of mismanagement of beloved fan-favorite characters the way that we kind of saw Disney bungle writing Luke or writing. Although I know that Finn technically wasn't a fan favorite, or maybe he was to other people. Yeah, but like the way that they bungled Finn's character and the way they didn't completely ruin Leia, but she didn't really have much to say in the new films.
Right.
So there's that. I don't know. It does make me a little bit nervous. The thing is, I have a bad feeling that they are going to bury that until the game is actually released, and then it's going to be sprung upon customers. So that's a thing. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited that they're bringing this stuff back, but it makes me nervous why and how it's going to be handled.
Yeah, I don't see why they're bringing in writers to change the story. Because
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, right. Originally, when I heard the remake was that they were just remaking it in the sense of a gameplay aspect, because the old game is based off of if you guys ever played like D20 systems, which is all about rolling a 20-sided die. The old game is much based around that,
and it's turn-based. So.
Exactly, it's turn-based. And nowadays, a lot of action RPGs, ARPGs, are not turn-based. They're real-time. Stuff like Dragon Age Inquisition, or what's another ARPG that came out recently? I don't remember.
You're more the video game guy than I am. So.
Witcher 3, Dragon Age Inquisition.
Is Jedi Fallen Order considered that?
It's not an RPG. Oh, okay. That's more of an action.
I tried, guys.
Mass Effect Andromeda, kind of. Yeah, ARPG. I think Mass Effect Andromeda is an ARPG. Yeah, those are all real-time based. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can definitely see there's been a general trend, like a shift in how people like playing video games. Back then it was much more text-based, much more turn-based. Now it's much more visual-based. It's much more, kind of in-the-moment based, right? Nothing wrong with that. It's just how gaming changes over the generation. So yeah, I have no idea what they're actually going to do as far as storyline changes go. I don't know if they're going to keep the big twist of the game intact. I'm not going to mention what the twist is.
Go play the original game. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I'd imagine that a lot of people who are playing the remake...
I loved that twist, fantastic.
Probably already played the game before, so they would know the twist. But a lot of people are new bloods who haven't played the game before. So I do hope they keep that twist intact, because it's definitely a major part of the story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huge.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're getting the writers in to like punch up some of the dialogue. I don't know if they're adding entire new sections, because there is parts of the games that actually was cut. There was a whole planet that was cut from the OG game. I forget what it's called. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to bring that back. I have no idea what they're going to do.
Yeah,
I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah,
it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
It's I keep saying it over and over again, and I'm sure you guys are getting sick of me saying it, but like I'm really excited. Hopefully they don't bungle this. I'm kind of putting my faith in Aspire or whatever the hell they're called. Putting my faith in them and going, do what must be done. Don't do an EA. I swear to God, if I load into this game and it's like, hey, do you want new skins? Buy them.
Yeah.
I will hunt you down, find out where you live, and burn down your home in a video game. But yeah. That's just my piece.
Yeah.
That's my...
final thoughts. If you guys are interested, the KOTOR remake, Knights of the Republic remake, is a timed exclusive on PS5 and PC.
Yes.
So if you guys have a PS5 or a PC, it'll come out on launch day for both of those consoles. For Xbox players, it will... I don't know if they specified a date, but it will come out later.
But it'll definitely come out... It'll probably come out like a month later, whatever it is.
I wouldn't be so sure. I don't know. Depending on how much Sony wants to grasp its exclusivity deal, it may be as much as a year.
Sure.
I've seen that happen before, which really sucks, and I hate it, but that's corporatism for you, I guess.
It's what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, and... what can I say? So PS5 plays PC at launch, Xbox later on. That's all we know so far. If you guys are interested, definitely keep up with that. No release date as of now either. No gameplay shown either.
No,
just
the 59 seconds of yes.
Yeah, so definitely cool. One other thing I wanted to mention. So THQ Nordic is also a publisher of games. And they have a bundle for Star Wars Racer and Republic Commando on PS4. This really has nothing to do with it. But go buy it. Those games are fun. If you have a PS4, I might want to get it. Yeah, that's whatever. Also, if you guys ever played X-Wing, the miniatures game, it's a pretty fun miniatures game. So there was this big... This is something that the Star Wars community is pretty famous for, and there was this big debacle about whether the Razor Crest was the name of the ship itself or the name of the ship class, right? Similar how to Darth Vader's Star Destroyer is called the Avenger, but it's an Imperial class Star Destroyer, right? And
also, I find the name of his Star Cruiser, the Avenger, to be pretty ironic given everything that went down.
Well, there's different names. There's the Avenger. Of course, the Executor is the bigger one.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That's the Emperor's personal ship, right?
Well, that's Vader's personal ship.
Well, fair.
But it only appears in Empire Strikes Back and later on. Yeah. So, in the show, they call it a Razor Crest class or something like that. So it doesn't help at all. The X-Men Miniatures game came out, and whenever that comes out, whenever they release a new ship, they always say the ship type. So it's officially canon and confirmed that the ship is now called an ST-70 assault ship.
Someone's getting assaulted.
Yeah, so it's called an ST-70 assault ship. Razor class is just the name. However, there is still some speculation that Razor class might be the name of the ship, and it might also be the name of a derivative line of the ship. Sort of how
interesting.
Sort of how if you have I don't know, like a I don't really know. No, but let's say you have a Honda Civic, and then you have a Honda Civic Turbo. You know what I mean? They're all Civics, but they have a specific branch, right? You know what I mean? So maybe the Razor Crest is a specific modification of the ship. Maybe it's a ship that comes.
Maybe it's his personal modifications of the ship.
Yeah. Maybe it comes off the factory line with missiles and explosives and lasers.
All sorts
and
of pew-pews.
Yeah, I have no idea. Probably not, because it has the word assault ship in the name, so it seems pretty.
Someone's getting assaulted.
Pretty dangerous, right?
Exactly.
But yeah,
exactly.
That's cool if you guys care about canon ship names. It's called the ST-70 assault ship.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
I think that's it for the topics that you wanted to kind of talk about.
Yeah.
We actually, I'm not gonna lie, we actually have pretty much a Microsoft Word document sitting in front of us, and we're just going through the topics we want to talk about. So yeah, so the Boba Fett's Starship stuff we talked about, Kenobi we talked about, Star Wars Terrifying Tales we talked about, KOTOR Remake we talked about. I think that's everything. Now we do want to talk about something new that's been added to Disney Plus that just came out, I believe, earlier this week. Called Star Wars Visions. Now, Star Wars Visions is basically a non-canon addition to the Star Wars, I guess not quite lore, but added to the Star Wars universe. Basically what it is Disney didn't hand over the rights, but basically handed over to a lot of Japanese animation companies to make up their own Star Wars stories. And there's about 9 episodes. We haven't watched them all yet. We've watched the first 3. They're only about 15 to 18 minutes. They're pretty short. And basically there's different stories. So we watched the first 3, which was the Duel, the Twins, and Tatooine Rhapsody. Yeah, so in order, the Duel, Tatooine Rhapsody, and the Twins. Now, I enjoy anime. Always have. I don't watch all of it, but I'm a big Naruto fan. Love that series. Boruto, why do you have to exist? But yeah, so I've always enjoyed anime, so when I saw this, I was super hyped. Actually, let me clarify. When the first reveal for Star Wars Visions, I was so. I wasn't all that hyped about it, but when that trailer dropped, I was like, nope, I'm on board. I want to watch it. It looks great. It's all non-canon, so they can basically just go balls to the walls with it, which...
They have.
They really have.
I don't blame them.
It's still Star Wars themed. It's just done in a anime format. Some of it's black and white. Some of it is color based. and it all has different stories. The first one we watched today was called The Duel, and it's very much inspired by kind of samurai. You know this genre better than I do, so you go. I don't want to butcher anything.
No. If you guys so there's a famous Japanese filmmaker. His name was Akira Kurosawa. He directed a bunch of cool Japanese samurai movies. You guys should definitely go watch them. Some of them being like Yojimbo or Seven Samurai. If you guys have seen Seven Samurai, The Duel is basically the movie Seven Samurai to a fault, I guess. No, not really to a fault. It's to a T, I should say. It is basically the plot of Seven Samurai in Star Wars, which is funny because George Lucas cites Akira Kurosawa as one of the influences for Star Wars. You know, there's a lot,
especially the early saber fighting.
Exactly, yeah, a lot of the mysticism, a lot of the sword fighting as well. Darth Vader's armor is very reminiscent of samurai armor. Yeah. But yeah, exactly like you were saying, a lot of the earlier fights, you can look at the fight from A New Hope, which is very methodical, slow, and it's sort of footwork based, and you can definitely draw a parallel to samurai duels, right? It's very much the same way. Do you want to? I don't know if we should do a summary because I feel like they can just watch it. I think we should just.
I don't think we need to do it. We don't necessarily need to do a summary. We can kind of like give like a bullet point quickly thing. It's not really. I guess that is kind of a summary. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Very much based on like the old samurai films. Really good stuff. The second episode on
wait.
Oh, hold on.
Let's do our thoughts on it.
Okay, true, fair. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I just want to do the whole. Yeah.
I want to know what you thought about it.
I liked it. I liked the whole black and white. Is it pictography? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm on all sorts of nonsense right now. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It being filmed in black and white was really cool. I definitely liked the feel of it. I liked how they kept the armor for the clones / stormtrooper kind of wear.
Yeah.
That was kind of nice to see. I liked the whole... I guess in the episode they call him Master Ronin, who's kind of like your good guy for the episode.
Every samurai movie has this. There's always some Ronin wandering around, stumbles somewhere, and ends up saving the day. That's like pretty standard stuff. But,
also, we got a Sith with an umbrella lightsaber. I swear to God, I'm not shitting you. So it's like it has it opens like an umbrella, but each of like the not tongs, like each of the solid cables that like holds up the umbrella kind of thing are all lightsabers in and amongst itself, which is kind of dope. Silly but dope for like anime style things. Because again, they can go balls to the walls. It doesn't have to make sense. Now, the one thing I saw in the trailer was basically she's deflecting all of these blaster bolts with her umbrella lightsaber. However, she does the one thing that everyone hated from Rebels with the Inquisitors. She was able to Mary Poppins fly with it, and I can only take so much. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I guess droids have just highly explosive things inside of them to just wipe out people left, right, and center.
He's like Chopper.
Nah, Chopper's got like a 1.2 million death counts. Exactly. Kill count. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked the feel of it. It still felt Star Wars to me. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I think out of the three we saw, it's definitely my favorite. I'm a big fan of the old samurai movies. Yeah. Oh, come on. No, I like the samurai movies a lot, and this felt exactly like it. Mm-hmm. You know, it was grayscale. It was, I like how it's grayscale, but they also chose selective colors. Things like the lights on the houses, the lights on the droid, and the lights of the lightsaber and the kyber crystals. I really like that.
And the blaster shots as well.
And the blaster shots, yes, thank you. I really like that because it draws attention to that. Mm-hmm. So I like that sort of artistic decision. But yeah, you know, it's like a standard samurai movie. I thought it was really good. I like the animation style as well because it felt pretty fluid. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but it felt very like like a fluid style, right?
Right.
Whereas some animation style can be like very kind of static.
Mm-hmm.
This one felt very moving, even if the characters themselves weren't actually like moving.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, but I really liked it. Yeah, it was just
An all-around good episode.
I came into this with no expectations whatsoever, and from the first episode, I am pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Definitely a good one.
Should we move on to episode 2?
Yeah, we can.
So, Tatooine Rhapsody?
I think so.
Tatooine Rhapsody? I think that's what it's called. Basically, so overall, I think the second episode was probably my least favorite out of the 3.
Okay.
Not that it was bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. They've brought rock and roll to Star Wars, which is kind of weird, but I dig it. I can get behind it. It turns out that like one of the band members is like Jabba's like 4th cousin 3 times removed or whatever it is.
And he's got hair.
And he's got hair, and it's not just hair. It's like long hair, which is that's a thing. I don't know. We kind of had our theory at the beginning of the episode. We see this kid like running for his life or whatever with a lightsaber. So like and they never really outwardly state it, but they kind of come off and be like, "Hey, like, are we getting like some Order 66 feels here?" Because like that definitely was kind of the feeling that we both got. I liked it. Again, wasn't my favorite cup of tea. But it is still Star Wars, so I generally enjoy it unless they really piss me off. Which, believe me, happens. But yeah, thoughts, Luca?
Okay, I think I'm going to do probably the hottest take of the night right
now. Yes, Luca, I love the hot takes.
I actually enjoyed Tatooine Rhapsody more than the Twins episode. I actually thought I enjoyed it more, actually.
So this is where the podcast comes to an end while I burn Luca alive for his heresy?
No, I just... Like, I'll talk about the Twins later on, but, like... I don't know. I heard, as you did as well, that, like, this episode was sort of, like... People didn't really like it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like this one.
I don't know. I kind of just left my... Because I know that since it's non-canon, it doesn't have to conform to anything, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and I think that was the proper decision to make, because, like, then you can just go into it and, like, not care what happens. And, like, yeah, the story itself is just kind of whatever. I don't... This is why I don't really watch anime a lot, because some of the dialogue really irks me sometimes. At least to me, anime has a way of, like, overemphasizing stuff and sort of adding, like, melodrama to its presentation style, if you know what I mean. It's really just hard to explain, but it kind of irks me when I watch it, because, like, they're like... Oh, I could have done so more. Like, I'm just a kid. I'm just a stupid rock and roll player.
We're just a band!
Yeah, exactly.
We're just a band!
They're like, we're just a band, And then, they do the common anime trope of, like, screaming into the sky.
Yeah.
And then he turns around to his bandmates and he's like, you know what? We're just a band. And then they go and pull off, like, some crazy... whatever,
concert.
Thing. It's like...
And they do, by the way, they do the concert in the middle of the speedway for pod racing in Tatooine, which is kind of a cool callback. Also, Boba Fett in this episode.
He's my favorite part of this episode, I think.
Boba Fett.
He's sort of like a pop figure, I think. He's very stylized, and he's got a big
head. He looks like a Funko Pop!
Exactly, yeah, you know what I mean?
He literally looks like a Funko Pop.
And it's funny because the Funko Pops for Star Wars are bobbleheads, right? And you have that scene at the end where he's, like, bobbing his head.
Nodding his head along, yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Even Jabba was getting into it.
Yeah. I think it was.
They literally perform a concert before, like, someone gets executed. Like that. That's literally the entire thing.
Yeah, I just thought it was a fun, cute little episode. Like, it's whatever, It was. I thought the animation style was kind of cute. It's fun, little melodramatic, but that's whatever. That's just me being a minor nitpick. Yeah.
Minor nitpick.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it.
It is what it is.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. Not as much as the duel, but yeah, it was good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You're good on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Which brings us to our final topic of the evening.
Right.
Star Wars Visions Episode 3, The Twins. Which, for me, was the most anticipated episode of the series. And I'll say this right now. I wasn't disappointed.
Really?
I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was fun. I thought it was energetic. I thought we got lots of callbacks to the original Star Wars films. Even one callback that I wasn't exactly pleased about, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm not going to give a summary of the whole episode, but I do want to lay out the context for it because I think it's important. So this episode is basically about two twins that are, I guess you would say, bioengineered into existence from the dark side, which is a pretty interesting...
it's kind of like Anakin.
Yeah, but we have twins, so it kind of plays off the Luke-Leia thing, but with Anakin's origin, which is a fun topic. Now, the both of them are clad in a robot-like dark suit, and I'm like, yes, it's Vader all over again. I am a happy boy. Bring me some more Vader. However, there is a giant kyber crystal within their combined Gemini Star Destroyers. They're literally two Star Destroyers connected by a core, which is, again, it's a little bit on the nose, but, it's there. And the brother twin actually steals it because he's afraid that the sister is going to, use it, abuse it, and be destroyed by it. There's a lot of good stuff. She ends up using 6 lightsabers at one point, which is, hello there, my name is General Grievous.
And she has, spaghetti lightsabers, too.
They're like whips, almost.
Yeah, because they wrap around his sword, like a spaghetti around a fork, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was just odd thought, but
he kind of goes light side without them saying that he's gone light side, which is kind of interesting. At the end of the episode, they actually crash. I'm pretty sure we're 99% sure that he crashes on Tatooine, and I'm like, okay, more callbacks. They literally use the do or do not line in the episode.
But they credit it to R2-D2 and not Yoda.
Yep. Because who cares about Yoda? Who cares about the little midget green guy who lives in the swamp?
The green Muppet.
The green Muppet who does copious amounts of ketamine per day. But yeah, I liked it. It was fun, energetic, a lot of callbacks to original Star Wars, which was nice. Still kept the tone and feeling of Star Wars, in my humble opinion. But yeah, Luca, take it away. Let's hear this garbage take.
This episode for me just didn't really do anything. I understand.
This is why I call my heretic folks.
I understand the callbacks that were being made, but I just felt that they were too much on the nose and too much of what we've already seen before. I get that what they're trying to do with Star Wars Visions is tell new stories, and I think that's what they should have done. And for me, this episode was just more of what we've already gone.
Quo
yeah, you know what I mean? It's hey, we have 2 Star Destroyers linked together that can destroy planets. Wow. Hey, we've got a bad guy that turns good. Wow. Hey, we have that scene where they're pulling at the kyber crystal and it shatters. Wow. It's just none of this episode did anything for me. I think the turn of the character, what was his name? The chick was named Am. And the
Aram?
dude...
No, not...
The dude was Kare. I think, it was
Kare,
yeah. Kare's turn happens at the beginning of the episode, and... Yeah, okay, I guess he's not a bad guy anymore. And I totally understand they don't have the time for the setup. I totally get it.
Because they're 15-minute episodes.
Yeah, but I feel like they could have taken away a little bit of the fight scene and done it more to why he's a good guy now. But...
Are you saying that we should take away action for more concrete character development and storytelling?
Yeah.
You monster! How could you?
I just don't he turns and then he says the most boilerplate anime friendship garbage I've ever heard in my life. He's no, but he's fighting the girl Am, and he's again, I don't want to straw man here, but he says something along the lines of don't serve a master, you can be free, you have to do freedom, and
you can have your own destiny kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It sounded to me I don't know, it's just don't serve the dark side because you gotta be in control of your destiny, be a good guy,
Look,
sort of.
To be fair,
just...
Luke kind of gives the same speech to Vader in Return of the Jedi.
Okay, but in my opinion, it's much more nuanced than it was here.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't. The whole
difference.
Trilogy wasn't done in 15 minutes.
There's a difference with Yoda saying, "Once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny," to whatever was said in this episode, where they're sort of like, yeah, you got to take control of your life. You got to be free. You know, it just read like a bad promotional what's the word for those like commercials?
Marketing?
No, the specific commercials that are supposed to teach you stuff or like PSAs.
Yeah, there you go.
It just felt like a bad sort of PSA to me in a sense of like, hey guys, don't be bad, be good. You know. And it was just like...
Again, we apologize. We didn't have an entire trilogy to base this off. No. Instead, we're going to complain about an episode that's 15 minutes long. All right? Leave it be.
It was just redundant. We've seen this before. We've seen this before and like a billion amount of times. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, and then I guess she's floating in space at the end, and she gets rescued. Blah blah blah. You know, like,
we get a dark side C-3PO.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
That's cool. I guess
I didn't think I needed that in my life until it actually came to be, and I'm like, yo, that's dope.
I don't know. The action just didn't do anything for me. Like, cool. I guess she has 6 arms.
People like you should be sent to specialized facilities to be dealt with.
They totally plagiarized the hyperspace ramming from.
We don't need to talk about that.
No, that was.
No, we're not talking about hyperspace ramming. Isn't canon. It's not a thing. It's never been done in Star Wars. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing but the utmost respect for all the animators and all the writers that worked on this episode, but I feel like they took the callbacks a bit too far, because some of them were kind of shot-for-shot remakes. I mean, when you have the hyperspace ramming scene, you have the ship gets split in half, you have the blue trail, you have no music whatsoever. Like, that for me is quintessential hyperspace ramming. I understand it's a throwback, it's a callback, I understand that, but in my opinion, it's a bit much. Just a teensy bit, you know? Like, yeah, I get it. You know, I get it. Like, haha, Star Wars, this is whatever. But, like, you have stuff like The Duel, which, like, in my opinion, just reimagined it more in an anime format than this did.
Look, I won't defend the hyperspace. Oh, I'm dying. I'm already yawning. By the way, just so you guys know, it's like 12 a.m. here, so I'm barely staying alive right now. Yeah, it's like 12 a.m.
Oh Jesus, okay.
But yeah, I won't defend the hyperspace ramming. It was dumb when Rian Johnson did it. It's still dumb now, but I can overlook it because the rest of the episode, in my opinion, was good stuff. Well, good times, good fun, good feeling.
Yeah,
it's Star Wars. Leave me be.
It doesn't matter in this case, anyways, because. You know, there's no...
You don't matter. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like, whether or not you like it, it doesn't really matter, because there's no precedent.
Yeah, and it's not canon, so they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, exactly, so...
And hey, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe now we can unanimously declare Last Jedi not canon, because both of them had hyperspace ramming in it.
I think that's a pipe dream that we will never realize, but...
Look, it's my pipe dream, and it's all that matters to me, alright?
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This episode just... didn't do it for me.
It didn't do it for him.
It
didn't tickle his pickle.
It was meh. It was just meh. You know, it was cool, not for me. I wasn't a big of a fan about it. It's whatever.
What it is.
Yeah. The art style's cool. I like that, I guess. The art style was cool. Yeah. Colorful. So I like colors.
Colors is nice.
That's
when Lucas chief praise for the thing is, I like colors. We're in for a rough night.
I will give it one praise. This isn't really a spoiler. The guy inserts a small sliver.
Oh yeah, by the way, spoilers in case you haven't realized that already.
Okay, whatever. This doesn't really matter. He inserts a small sliver of kyber crystal into the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And his lightsaber color is a gradient. It's like a purple to blue gradient.
Yeah.
I think that's sick, you know.
Half purple, half blue.
In a world where it seems like people don't realize that we don't need more lightsaber types and they're constantly inventing more lightsaber types, single-bladed, double-bladed, whatever the hell Inquisitors use.
Umbrella lightsabers.
Yeah, short lightsabers, umbrella lightsabers. You got the lightsabers with cross guards. You got the knight-looking sword lightsabers from not Fallen Order, sorry, from the
High Republic?
High Republic, yeah. In a world where it seems like the lightsaber is getting redefined in every way, shape, and form, I kind of like the simplicity of just having a gradient lightsaber. I think it's kind of cool. And it wasn't too overdone.
From like the I can't speak the English
trilogy?
language. No, Mace Windu from the I almost want to say Underworld, but it's not Underworld. The Netherworld of the Force. Going, pick a side.
Right,
pick a side.
Yeah.
Be purple or blue. You can't have both.
Well, I guess they're both Jedi, so that's cool. But yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't do some crazy gradient, like from orange to like brown or something. Like they
Orange
kept it
and
cool.
green lightsaber.
Yeah,
This is what we're going with.
Yeah, no Christmas theme. They kept it pretty cool, and,
Yeah.
and I like that. That was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Good stuff.
So yeah, in best to worst, in my opinion, I think in the order we watched them, the Duel, then Tatooine Rhapsody, then the Twins. In my opinion,
For me, it was actually this is tough. I'd actually put the Duel and the Twins on the same level, and then Tatooine Rhapsody.
Right.
And again, for the record, Tatooine Rhapsody, I liked it. It just wasn't, what I'm used to from Star Wars.
That's
but
fair.
I'll take it
That's totally
because
fair.
Solo wasn't what I, usually see from Star Wars. But it's not, it's not dog shit. It's not Last Jedi. So like, there you go.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty low bar to pass, but all right.
We'll see how that list changes as we watch more of them.
Exactly.
I
want to see that. I want to see the Elder one. It looks so good.
And the princess, the Jedi Bride.
Oh
one,
yeah, the Village Bride. I think
Village
it is.
Bride.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luca, do you have any final closing comments?
If you're still watching, why? Like.
Ignore him. We need all the viewers we can right now. All right, this channel is slowly dying. All right.
But I appreciate it, and thank you for listening to my mindless, endless drivel, and Austin's
also mindless drivel.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Look, it's mindless drivel.
Thank you
Let's
for
be
listening.
honest about it. Yeah. But on that note, guys, I think we're gonna call it an evening from here.
Have a good evening, or a good morning, or good day to wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you guys are watching from. We appreciate you guys coming back. And, that'll be it. We'll bring in another podcast to you guys in exactly 2 weeks.
Sure.
Once we'll be back at my place again, we'll be able to run this podcast again. But yeah, until next time, we will talk to you guys later. Bye!
Bye, everyone. Thank you.